We got some more breaking news. Stars on the move. LaMelo trade to the Timberwolves, man. So they got rid of Randall and added LaMelo. They said less stress, less boringness, less bad body language, and more fun. What the?
The Timberwolves are getting busy. This is a shocker. The Charlotte Hornets, they're going to trade LaMelo Ball and Josh Green to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Naz Reid.
Maybe rookie year. I see Gordon Hayward, bro.
A 2033 unprotected first-round pick, 3 first-round pick swaps, and 3 second-round picks. I don't know about this. And 3 second-round picks.
What is Bobby Portis doing? Hey, Dr. Dolan's even blocking a shot.
I don't know about this. They just got rid of Julius Randle, and then Naz Reid, they were going to have him start. So that sounded like a good idea because Naz Reid has been so solid the last few seasons. He's definitely a starter. But now you trade him for LaMelo Ball? Did they need LaMelo Ball? Is a point guard?
They had to do something, bro. They had to do something. You know what I'm saying? They too far behind for San Antonio and OKC. They had to do something.
Is that what they were missing to take them to the next level?
Yes.
And then you're also trading a pick, and you've got swaps. You got second-round picks.
Man,
There's
fuck
3
them
of them.
picks.
There's 3 over there, 3 in the first, 3 in the second.
I like this trade for the Minnesota Timberwolves, man. It's lit. They're going to be so much fun to watch, man.
Trade. When I first saw this trade, I was thinking, okay, LaMelo, that's interesting. But then when you find out that Naz Reid is in the trade, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, sorry, Big Jelly Reid. You don't go to Charlotte, bro. Hey, man, you got to give up. You know what I'm saying? You got to give up something, bro. You got to give us a trade. You got to give up something nice to get something nice. What did you?
If Naz Reid wasn't traded and then they got LaMelo and they still had McDaniels.
They still do.
And Edwards, maybe you could say, okay, I like that. That's interesting. That's going to change some things up. But, man, I don't know. Timberwolves fans, get in the comments
Everything
section.
that Naz Reid does, LaMelo can do, bro. And Naz Reid, he's like 6'10", but he doesn't play like he's 6'10". He plays like he's 6'1". That's why they call him Big Jelly. Bro's like a 6'10" shooting guard.
What are you thinking about this? Was LaMelo Ball the missing piece to take you to the next level?
Naz Reid wants to dribble and shoot threes.
Now that you've got no Naz Reid, no Julius Randle, what do you do at power forward? You still have Rudy Gobert at least, but it was the Gobert-Reid combo or Gobert-Randle both at the same time. That was what was working because you had length coming in off the bench. Everybody was tall. Now you got rid of the shooting at power forward. That was creating spacing. That's no longer there.
You'll find someone else.
And you're changing up the picks. You're swapping. If there's any worry, in my opinion, that Anthony Edwards is going to leave, I don't know if this improves it. I think this makes him say, what are they doing? Why would they get rid of Naz Reid, my homie, somebody that's been balling for me, showing up in the playoffs? Why would they do that? Giannis just got traded to the Heat, and then now you see the stories talking about Anthony Edwards. Maybe they're making it up, maybe they're not, saying he's not happy there, but I don't think this trade makes him happy. But let me know what you think in the comments section. What do you grade this trade for both teams? For the Hornets, they just got rid of the guy that made their franchise popular. Everybody was tuning in to watch these games. They love watching LaMelo Ball play, and now you just trade him for Naz Reid? What's going on there?
It's going to be a show. It's going to be a show with me.
Very interesting.
Give that.
Our shout smooth. All right. And, I love this trade, man.
Breaking news from the NBA from Shams Charania, who joins us here in studio. Shams, what more can you tell us about this LaMelo Ball trade?
Anytime you have Anthony Edwards, you have a pressure to win. You have to pay to win. And this in LaMelo Ball is a big swing for the Timberwolves. Tim Connolly is no stranger to making
scare money don't make none, bro. You got to take risks.
We saw several years ago when he went out and got Rudy Gobert. That's led to some playoff success. Now you go out and get LaMelo Ball. The Timberwolves felt the last couple of years point guard was a major need for this team. And they actually did look into LaMelo Ball a couple times over the last season, but they finally get him now. This is a high price. LaMelo Ball is at the peak of his value at this point. And last night, near the end of the second round, I started hearing that they were going to be moving potentially LaMelo Ball because not that they were shopping him, but they were getting several teams inquiring, reaching out, making offers. Minnesota, Toronto. There were others as well. So Charlotte didn't start this offseason saying we're going to trade LaMelo Ball, but the offers just got so rich as we
Damn, they said, hey, we could get offers of LaMelo. Might as well trade him. What did you?
There's always a sense. If it got to that point.
That shows you right there. Anyone can get traded, y'all. Like, even if you're not on the trading block, anyone can get traded. Luka wasn't on the trading block, but he got traded. What the?
Hornets would not be afraid to move on. He's beloved there, but this price, getting Naz Reid, an unprotected first-round pick that's far out, 3 first-round pick swaps, and 3 second-round picks, and Naz Reid fills a major hole on the front court for the Hornets. They've been searching for a big man in the marketplace over the last few weeks, and you get Naz Reid. He plays both ends, can shoot the 3. And for all the chatter about the spending of the Timberwolves, we saw them dump Julius Randle for basically nothing. Mark Lowry and Alex Rodriguez, their owners, now enter the luxury tax with this trade for the 3rd straight year. They get LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards reunited because they were the number 1 and number 3 picks in the draft. Ant went number 1, LaMelo Ball went number 3 in 2020.
Bro said won't reunite like they played on the same team before. What you mean?
A couple of things that are leading to this decision. Okay, first off, Jaden McDaniels was awesome for the Timberwolves in this playoff.
He's going to get even better.
This expands the role for him.
Yep.
This opens up.
And rightfully so. Rightfully so. He's got better every year on offense. Rightfully so.
They put him alongside. In Charlotte's situation, the sort of depressed star point guard market is tough. We saw last year the Hawks struggled to be able to trade Trae Young. They finally found a deal for him. John Morant has not been able to be traded. LaMelo Ball, because of the injuries over the previous couple of years, it would be very difficult to move a player of his size of his contract.
Oh, they give him 3 first-round picks? He go for the same price as Giannis.
Issues and whatever. So many teams have their star point guards, and we just saw a whole basket of teams draft potential future star point guards. There's not a big market in a big lane to move a star to move a highly paid star point guard. For Charlotte to see this avenue, even if they're on the fence 50-50, they have to go for it.
They striked while the iron was hot.
Yeah, and they also have the replacement already sit there, Kobe White, who they traded for last year. Okay. I know Kobe White and LaMelo are very different players, but this leans into the guys that they still have. They now are in position to have financial flexibility to pay Brandon Miller and Kobe White alongside Con Kneppel.
I want to bring in Tim McMahon on this. Tim, what's your reaction to this move?
I mean, this is obviously a move about trying to make Anthony Edwards fully confident that he has a runway to contend in Minnesota. And it was costly. And honestly, not even as much in the return for the trade, but as Sham said, in the money, in the luxury tax. And there is massive risk involved here. LaMelo Ball, as talented as he is, has not proven to be a consistent superstar in this league. He's not proven to be able to stay healthy. He's not proven to be able to deliver.
Yeah, LaMelo never made the playoffs before.
Season is
that's going to change. That's going to change, though.
And they have melted down and not been able to punch their tickets to the playoffs. The difference now is he's got a certified killer alongside him in the backcourt. It is still Ant's team. They need LaMelo to come in and enhance that, not lead it.
Bobby, what does this do to the financials and in the future of these teams?
Well, Sham's made a good point regarding the Timberwolves' finances, because when the original trade happened, so this trade is part of the Brooklyn and Chicago trade that sends Julius Randle to the Nets, Nick Claxton to Chicago. When the original trade happened, everybody was up in arms. They're like, wait a minute. Is this a salary cap dump?
Who's this? Hold up.
It's a lesson. There's always a part A, B, C, D.
Sham's right there, so all right.
So now you take back basically the equal salary of what you're sending out, and you re-sign Io, and now you're heading towards the luxury tax. Now, the big question for Minnesota is when we're getting into free agency, now how do you replace the 2 bigs? That's going to be their goal here. You lose 2 bigs in a conference where size matters. We saw it throughout the draft here. You're looking at Oklahoma City and San Antonio, who have big lineups here, and that's going to be the hard part as far as filling out filling out those roster spots that are now open here. But this is a big swing.
Wendy, we've spent part of the morning talking about.
I feel like if you're in a team like small market team, you gotta take a big swing, bro. I feel like that. You're not gonna get any free agents. More times than not, you're gonna use most of your free agents to the big market teams. So you gotta take risks. That's what you gotta do. You gotta make trades. Gotta take risks. And sometimes you're gonna take L's. Sometimes you're gonna take L's. It's just the nature of the game, bro. As long as you bounce back the right way.
And the analogy that I come up with is Bitcoin. there is a popularity and then there is a practicality element with that, and perhaps with LaMelo Ball from a basketball perspective. Top shoe in the game, top shoe in the market. Your kids love him, my kids love him. But as for a basketball fit in Minnesota, enough basketball to go around?
I'm going to tell you, we got to get to our bosses. We got to get the Timberwolves on national TV as much as we possibly can, because the ability to see Ant and LaMelo play together, the sheer entertainment value we're going to have, going to be fascinating.
Hey, Timberwolves dollar money about to go up. You got to go through the roof. Carmelo put asses in those seats, bro.
After Karl Towns got traded, there were so many nights that Ant was so frustrated with the double teams. They used to double team him when he came out of the tunnel, okay? Sure. And he was sometimes scoring against, it was almost amazing what he was able to do against double teams. They didn't have a reliable release valve because Karl Towns is no longer there. So how do you go get a star-level player who can hit those three-pointers? That is what they've done here. I'm sure Minnesota feels like they bought low on LaMelo. Maybe the rest of the league doesn't, but they figure this is a guy who can score 40 alongside him. He can hit. He'll probably have a number of games next year where he hits 6+ three-pointers. We're going to see that. To be able to get that level of talent, they probably think this is exactly the type of thing to energize Ant Edwards going into next season.
LaMelo Ball didn't want to trade out of Charlotte. He wanted to be in Charlotte, but I think when you see the way he played this year, to finish the year, how strong he played, this was the peak of his real value that we've seen it at the NBA level. And the Hornets didn't go into this offseason saying, we're going to go trade him. But they were open. And this, at the end of the day, is an organizational decision. When you look at the haul they got, it's a big one. And behind the scenes, what was going on the last 24 hours is there were multiple teams, Timberwolves, others, that were not only pursuing LaMelo Ball, but Jaylen Brown. So there was an overlap of teams pursuing both players, and then you figure out what's the risk, what's the reward, what's the price, and that's the game that goes on when you're in the front office, as Bobby knows about. And a source close to LaMelo Ball tells me now that he is excited to go to Minnesota, and he wants to team up with Ant bad to try to win some championships.
This is actually a great opportunity for LaMelo. He's going to be some drivers on those sports cars. This is a great opportunity for him. He should be excited about this. Minnesota tried to get Kevin Durant a couple of years ago. They tried to get Giannis Antetokounmpo. As Bobby mentioned earlier, they've been trying to make this move this type of move for a while.
You gotta make moves, bro. You a small market team. Gotta make moves.
Tim McMahon, final word.
Because more times than not, ain't no one coming.
Yeah, Minnesota's been swinging for a star. They didn't have the assets to go get one at an all NBA player. They had the assets to pull this off. And as far as the fit with LaMelo, are there enough balls to go around? Let me just point out, the thing that he does best isn't shoot threes, isn't score. The thing he does best is pass the ball. So I think the fit with him and Ant will be fine as long as he is healthy and on the floor.
Yep. What else we got? All right. We're going to take chapters on this one.
Those two guys, from my understanding, they're friends. They've had communication in the recent past. And when you look at it from the Hornets' perspective, though, to get
All right.
Stephen A., your reaction to this trade, LaMelo Ball now going to play with Anthony Edwards in Minnesota?
Well, number one, you can't dislike it. It's an elite backcourt. We have to remember that LaMelo averaged 20 this year, shooting 37% from three-point range. Him and Con Knipple were 2 and 1 respectively in terms of three-point field goals made. LaMelo Ball made 272 three-pointers. So the brother can score, but his gift is passing the basketball. And look who he's passing it to. A superstar, if ever there was one, in Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards. So certainly from a backcourt perspective, knowing how desperately they needed help at the point guard spot, you definitely answered that call. So I think it's definitely a huge, huge plus, and I give them credit for that. But for me, I find myself, Vinny, Shams, Wendy, looking at the Minnesota Timberwolves and feeling like they got a little bit smaller in a conference where obviously size matters because of OKC and San Antonio. And so for me, I do find myself looking at them. Now, granted, it's a bit offset by the fact that Jalen Brunson.
Yep. I'm about to say he lost to Jalen Brunson, bro. The best player on the team that he lost to was 6'1". I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, Stephen A. I don't want to hear it.
As a star, Ant-Man is a superstar. That makes for an elite backcourt in the National Basketball Association. I get that part. I just got questions about what they're going to do with their front court, because losing Naz Reid obviously is somewhat of a significant loss.
Okay, of the top 10.
I'm Miss Nazarin, bro. Miss Big Jelly Reid. But Minnesota. All right, this deal was made. He's gonna.
Made this deal, right? Like they needed an infusion of talent, someone at that point guard slot. They want someone to come in and take the onus off of Anthony Edwards.
All right.
Hey, do you have to give up bigs to fill a need?
They still got Rudy. They still got Rudy. James McDaniels play power forward.
Obviously, the Timberwolves were stressed about this. Okay, we know they were stressed about this, Shea, because they tried to trade for Giannis and they looked into Jaylen Brown. And so this move, yes, it's a vote of confidence in LaMelo Ball. Yes, it's a vote of confidence in everything he can bring to a team. This is a move to keep Ant Edwards engaged in being in Minnesota because you're entering the segment of his career where it's a danger zone. You had this great success going to the conference finals 2-0. Now you go down a little bit. What do? This is a gutsy move to protect their franchise star in Minnesota.
You're 1,000% right, and that's where I was going. Remember, LaMelo Ball is eligible for a 2-year, $119 million extension come July 6th, if I remember correctly. So obviously, acquiring him at this particular moment in time, they understand the kind of investment that they're making. But you don't make that investment unless you know it's something that Ant-Man.
All right.
Ant-Man and his.
All right, that's it. I'm done. Hey, man. He's going to be lit in Minnesota, man. Hey, that PR team going to have to work cut out for him. That's what they get paid for. What?